So I just want to talk a bit about this this business of hating and of abusing one another here. I grew up in the Bronx in the 50s and 60s. And growing up in the Bronx at that time, as I'm sure is not much different today, groups of kids needed to find ways to sort ourselves out. And the way we sorted ourselves out was through this group process of seeking weakness in one another and attacking the weaknesses. So everybody, of course, had a weakness. I was a fat kid. Other kids were stupid. Other kids had one parent. Other kids had dirty clothes. Other kids, it didn't matter. Everybody has a weakness, right? So, our Lord of the Flies kind of society that we developed together was based on determining one another's weaknesses, attacking those weaknesses, watching the way we all dealt with being attacked. Because there was no avoiding the attacks. You got attacked. That's what happened. That was part of what would happen. And you figured out how to live with the attacks because you had to live there. You had to go to that school. You had to live in that neighborhood. You lived there. Here we are now. We're in this world of this community where we're connecting with one another and getting to know one another, and we've been watching what's happening as we start to figure out how we're going to be together here. And Perry made a video about Bonnie and her experiences recently, and we've all seen, and some of us more than others have been the targets of these kinds of attacks. And for me, growing up in the kind of environment that I just described was painful and very informative. It taught me a lot about people and a lot about who I was and who I wanted to be. I was never very good at the attacking part of the world that we lived in. I mean, I did it, but I was never very good at it. I was not one of the aces of the attacking. There was something in me that at that time I wasn't too crazy about. I wished I wasn't as averse to attacking people as I was and am today. I wished I was, more of a son of a bitch, and that it didn't bother me that people really got hurt by the things that were said and done. But I wasn't. I couldn't help it. I wasn't, and I'm not. And eventually I grew to be proud of that about myself. That's not who I am, and that's not what I do. But we're all in the process of discovering ourselves with each other every day. And Perry says that, some of these people who attack are adolescents, and some are. Some are older, not age. Although I think, when we're young, we're probably given to more attention and focus on things that are different from us, and how we react to them. I don't know. I think that's part of what happens as we get older. As we talk about maturity, and a lot of what we're talking about with maturity, I think, is a sense of like the full range of the world and what people are like, and recognizing, we didn't all recognize what disasters we were when we were adolescents. We just knew that the other person was a disaster. We were pretty cool, with the exception of, these few little flaws. But as you get older, you recognize, come on, it's pretty much an across-the-board phenomenon that we're all pretty fragile, and we all figure out how to deal with that in the ways that we figure out how to deal with it. And over time, you come to appreciate that about ourselves and recognize, this is we are in this together. We are in this together. That sense of we are in this together, and that we care about being in it together, is what civilization and civility is about. And we have to figure out how to develop civility here. We have to figure out how to develop it. We have to figure out how to encourage it. We have to figure out how to discourage incivility. We have to figure out how to recognize where the lines are when incivility becomes illegality. And we have to figure out what to do with it when it does. And we have to figure out how to be vigilant about retaining civility so that we don't lose people, from valuable people from this community. I know that sounds stupid, but it's what I feel. I think it's a loss if we lose somebody like Bonnie. I think it's a big loss. I think it's a big loss. I think it's a big loss to lose voices that speak to us from different points of view within the boundaries of our common shared civility together. So, street teams are great. Mike is going to be, a big part of making sure that we figure out how to be legal, first of all, and maybe civil. That's a great order. I think we have to start with legal. But we can't abrogate our responsibility to the street team or to anybody else. Perry's right. We got to figure out ourselves how we're going to do these things together, and then do them. Do them. We have to do them. We can't just talk about it. And none of us wants to be the target of this stuff. I'm not eager to put myself out there. I didn't get a lot of hate comments until I made a video about Renetto, and then I got some seriously profane comments, which I didn't take down. I left up. I grew up in the place that is the mother of all profanity. So profanity is sort of, it's been a part of my life all my life. So profanity. But we got to figure this out. We got to figure this out.